Okay, hey guys, I'm Chris Meredith and I'm one of your presenters here at Psychic today. Now, today we're going to be talking about keeping positive in all situations. Now, having positivity is such an important thing. So I'm going to be talking about with two fabulous psychics that we've got today. First of all, we've got the lovely Anne Scholes. How are you doing, Anne?
I'm really well, Chris. How are you?
I'm really, really well, thank you. And of course, we've got the lovely Rafael. How are you doing, Raf?
I'm all right. How are you? All
I'm
right.
really good. Love that mug as well, Raf. Absolutely love it.
I've got to have a cup of tea on the go.
Oh, Tigger.
I love it. Absolutely love it. So first of all, keeping positive is such an important thing. So first of all, Anne, for yourself, how do you keep positive when things get quite negative?
Well, I kind of withdraw to sort of identifying what is important and how much that affects me. And if it's something that's around me, then I try not to get drawn into it. Take a step right back. No, as they say, not my circus, not my monkey. As they say. But I tend to just focus in what needs to be dealt with, not getting involved in any of the peripherals, and what needs to be dealt with. And so therefore how much control I have over that. If it's down to me, then it's a case of I need to sit down and think, right, how do I sort this situation? And I just basically find most of the times it's about being, we can very easily get drawn into other people's negativity, and I just step away from it. It's like, it's nothing to do with me. And I just have a very upbeat, positive, optimistic outlook anyway. I'm not the best at doom and gloom. So yeah, and look at what I can do, my part in it, yeah? But in the main, I think it's about identifying what it is that's dragging you down,
It is. And then how about yourself, Raf? I mean, how do you pull yourself out of a bit of a negative lull?
Again, very similar in that I do like to sort of step away. Sometimes you've just got to step back and just forget about it for a little while, just to give yourself a little bit of breathing time. And then usually I will meditate quite a lot. So I incorporate a lot of meditation to keep my energy grounded, to sort of clear my mind a little bit. I might pull a card or two, as usual. I have to have some cards at hand just to give me a little bit of perspective as to what's actually going on and maybe the action step that I need to take. Also, it's trying to separate other people's expectations and wants and needs and feelings as opposed to your own, because it's very easy to get so wrapped up with everyone else's drama that you can actually take it on as your own, and you might think, oh, I'm feeling this, but actually it's somebody else's expectations of what you should be feeling that you end up taking on. And it's sort of, you have to isolate yourself to sort of separate all that and separate the wheat from the chaff, so to speak, and go, what's important to me right now? What can be done in the next 5 minutes and what can wait 5 minutes? And it takes a lot of discipline. It's not easy. And I think it depends on the situation as well and how intense the situation is as to what tools you use or how long you do it for. So either that or I just sleep and just say, you lot get on with it. I'm going back to that.
You got to go back to bed. Well, that's it, though. I mean, a lot of people around us, we can get affected by people's negative vibes, and that can really, really bring us down, especially, when we've been going through lockdown, we've been thrown with people we might not like, kind of warding off other people's negativity. I mean, how do we do that? We'll start with you, Anne, if that's okay.
I'm a great listener. And to put it into some kind of context, if somebody comes to me and it's all singing and dancing and going off, and I let them sort of just vent it and then sit back and just listen to what's going on, and I suppose intuitively, because I can't help it now, I kind of look in and see, what do I feel? Do I feel that's necessary? Do I feel it's going to go further? Do I feel it's going to drag on? But then I just ask the person then, what do you want from this? What do you want? How do you feel you want to cope with that? And I make them make their mind up, instead of me saying, oh, well, that's shocking, well, that shouldn't, I just say to them, what do you want from this? And how's, you know, what do you want to happen? And then I support them then. It's like, okay, if that's what you want, maybe try this option, maybe try that option. And I do it with my girls because obviously, I mean, girls are great, aren't they? They love a good gossip and a good drama. But instead of interfering, you know, you can go in and go, right, I'm going to take charge of this, and I'm going to tell such and such a body, and I'm going to block them on Facebook or whatever, yeah? That's you interfering, and it's a fine line. So it's like, okay, what do you want me to do? So I feel I'm there as a support role for people rather than go in and tackle it for them, because people will pass the power of responsibility over to you very, very quickly because they can't deal with it. But more importantly, I just feel if I am there for them, if they want to have a cry on my shoulder or some advice or whatever, I will happily do that, but I will not take it on for them. And I think that's the biggest lesson I learned coming through life, that you have to deal with it yourself. You can't give it to anyone else. And so therefore, I can detach from it then, so it protects me, because it's not my journey. You know, spiritually, you know, we all have a different journey to walk. So it's not my journey. The outcome is theirs. The situation is theirs. So yes, I can help and support and back them up in different ways, but I won't interfere, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, how about yourself, Raf?
Again, very similar. It's sort of knowing your part to play. And again, if it's nothing to do with you, then, you know, you have to learn to detach and step back and just listen to where they're coming from. If they're coming at you for any reason and using you as the bait, then, you know, it's very easy to get wrapped up and just sort of shout back and get, you know, angry. But I think it comes with the job. Doing psychic readings, you learn to detach. You learn just to step back and go, okay, you had your temper tantrum now. You know, when you've cooled off, then you can come back to me. And again, like Anne, try and listen. I always try and listen to what's missing or to what's behind the words and where they're coming from. And sometimes you can't always deal with it there and then. Sometimes you just got to listen, walk away, and then come back to it a little bit later on when everything's a little bit more calm and say, you know, when you said that, or question them. This is where I find sometimes your counselling skills naturally come in. And if you listen to what's being said, you can use that as a way to open up an open-ended question, just question them on it and give them something to think about. You know, why do you feel that way? Where's that come from? And it gets them thinking a little bit, and it actually sort of calms them down a little bit and aids you to remain detached while at the same time giving the responsibility back to them and making them really look at things from a different angle that they probably didn't see before. And it is hard. It depends on the intensity of the situation, whether it's a personal thing, whether they're coming at you, or whether, you know, they're just mouthing off because whatever drama's going on in their life and you're just the listening ear. And again, it just comes with practice. It's very easy. I know for me, being a hot-headed Gemini, you know, with a mouth like a motor with no stop button, no filter, I can quite easily fight back. And in the past, I've done that and it's just made matters worse. But in time, not perfect at it, but I've learned to step back and just go, okay, when you're done, come back to me when you're a bit calmer. And we'll sort things out.
It is, Raf. I mean, and Anne as well. I mean, within that, it's all about kind of learning our own journey, isn't it? And I suppose knowing what kind of works for you and what doesn't. So would you say the power of positive thinking can help, you know, keep away negative, you know, thoughts and keeping yourself positive in negative situations? I mean, Anne, what do you think about that?
I think, yes, I think more and more people, especially if you're in, I mean, families are very contentious places when everybody has an opinion. And they want to be right, you know, and it's very difficult. And so, you know, the best thing to do is like I say, step back, or not tell them, not tell them your problems. I think offices and workplaces are very difficult as well, because when you're working closely with colleagues, obviously you form a bond or a relationship. And it's where that relationship, it's about being discerning on the boundaries with what is acceptable and what isn't, you know. on a work. So we have different boundaries, don't we? So, you know, trying to be positive, bring in the sense of humour. You know, I mean, my daughter used to come home from school every day and it was like, how was school? And it was, I got to the stage where I dreaded it because I was running out of things to say. And I'd just turn around and say, that good. Well, let me tell you, I've got hot chocolate and marshmallows for you. And then it would all, oh, right, okay. So then I realised she wanted me to do the, oh, poor me, I'm the victim, you know. So I think sometimes use your sense of humour to break a situation as well. Hence why I've got such a great sense of humour, Kris.
You do, we love it. We absolutely love it. How about yourself, Raf? What do you think about, you know, the power of positive thinking? Do you think it could break, you know, a negative wall?
I think it can. I mean, there's many different tools to raise that thought pattern, and it's very easy to get wrapped up in everyone else's negative drama. I think you've got to know you, and you've got to know your personal boundaries. You've got to know where your personal energies are and where it ends as well. And once you know your own space, you can then build up your own positivity. You can build up your own willpower, so to speak. And when that's strong, then nothing can knock you then. And you can be aware of everyone else's drama, but it acts a bit like a buffer. But also your energy, when you think positive, it radiates in your auric field, so people will naturally pick it up. And like Anne said, humour's always a good breaking point to break that wall down if someone's a little bit defensive. And even if they're still in the grumpy mood, you know, I'd say reflect the opposite. Don't reflect back what they're projecting. You know, they're trying to use you as a projector screen. So instead, sort of just, doesn't matter how much it annoys them. In fact, the more you crank that light up, the more it probably will irritate them, but then it will push them to take action at some point. So, you know, I always say stay positive. You know, you can use affirmations, you can use visualization, you know, whether it's for your own self or whether it's other people's energy and you just want to buffer that out. But if you can find your own boundaries and your own energy and you know where it starts and where it ends, I think that can be a good crutch just to keep you grounded.
It definitely can. So, you know, if there's anyone out there, you know, right now, you know, can meditation be a good crutch there, you know, really for people, if they are dealing with a negative situation, maybe friends or family, or maybe they're feeling the situation's quite heavy right now, which it is sometimes. Could meditation be a good key there, Anne?
Meditation's always a good key for everything. It covers so many things. But I find sometimes when you get so worked up, and your head is going at 100 miles, it can be quite difficult just to calm it down. So I think when you are in that thick of the moment and it's going over and over and over and over and your mind drives you crazy, I think the best thing for that is to go out and have a walk, take yourself round, I mean, around the reservoirs here, or, you know, just, and take a look at the beauty of what's around you, to just focus you back in on yourself and get grounded, because we become quite irritated, or we become quite sort of unable to settle, really. So I think a good walk, or to pick up some, you know, if you like painting, or some people go to the gym and box, you know. So there are ways, there are activities that you need to just get that out of your mind, to get it off the heightened state of alert, if you like, to get it down to a manageable size in your head. And then when you're breathing properly, then go into your meditation and then find out what's going on. But I think it's very difficult, because I know if I lose it in my head, it's, you know, I can't sleep, you know. So from that point, I think when you get so het up, I think it's good to just take yourself out of it and go for a walk and just be with yourself.
Yeah, definitely,
you know?
be with your thoughts. I mean, how about yourself, Raf? Do you think meditation could help, you know, negative thoughts?
I do think it can. I mean, I use it quite a lot, even when things aren't negative, even when things are still positive. I always say to people, do it anyway, because it will just make that positivity even stronger. So when something negative does happen, then you're already in that calm, grounded state of mind. And I always find that meditation is not so much to find answers, it's just more to get you out of the way, in a sense, get your logical mind, because we always want to control something. We always want to be in charge of something. Sometimes we don't always do it in the right way. So what I find what meditation can do is sort of just get our energy grounded, just take ourselves away from the situation, calm the mental chatter in the mind, give the logical mind something to focus on. And then when we're in that quiet state, then your unconscious or your higher self, whatever you want to call it, has got room then to just drop an idea or two that you probably wouldn't normally think of before. So it can be handy. Again, it just depends on what you're using it for and how you're using it, so to speak. Some people need visualization, they need a visual distraction. Some people just need to just meditate and focus on nothing but their breathing. Some people need to work with crystals, because crystals are good to enhance that and make it stronger, especially if you're a bit too frazzled and you're thinking, you know, I can't even meditate because I'm so wound up. So working with crystals can be a handy tool. So there's many different ways to meditate, but overall, I do think even if you're not in a negative frame of mind, you can still be positive, still do it, and it'll just reinforce that energy ready for when something does go out of balance. So better to start early. Prevention is better than cure, is what they always say. So that's why I find meditation handy for.
It definitely is, definitely is. So, I mean, you picked up on there, Raf, as well. You talked about crystals. I mean, crystals are always great to have around. I love them, you love them, and works with them all the time as well. So how could, you know, crystals work, you know, giving those positive vibes for us at the moment?
Oh, where do we start? There's so many crystals, but usually when you're all het up, you're a little bit ungrounded. Your energy's all over the place. And sometimes you just need something to bring that energy back to center. And there's lots of different crystals that can do that. I always say a lot of the dark colored stones, a lot of the black colored stones like smoky quartz, black tourmaline, hematite. Those are just 3 grounding stones that can really center your energy and just bring it back into one place. And when your energy is in one place, then, you know, you can think more clearly. And also crystals act like a physical aid. Sometimes if the mind's all over the place, the breath isn't enough. You need something tangible to really, you know, make the mind pay attention, go, oh, hang on a minute. So using crystals can also be a good tangible tool, not just on an energetic level, just to give that mind something to focus on. And once it's focused or distracted, then the answers can come. So they can work in so many ways. I mean, there's so many crystals. I mean, I've just mentioned 3, but clear quartz is an all-purpose crystal. It can be used for that. Amethyst is good for calming the mind and also protecting your energy field as well. You know, there's so many. You know, we could talk about this all day. That's another show in itself. Crystal.
It is. That could be the next one. How about yourself, Anne? What crystals do you like to ward off negativity?
Well, I'm a lover of labradorite. That's quite a strong, powerful protector. I mean, all the ones that Rafael said, yeah, absolutely. Also, pyrite is also a very strong protector of house and home, as well as yourself. And what was the other? Oh, there's another one. It's a blue stone. I don't know if I pronounced it right. Dumerite. And it's for when Raf was talking about focusing your brain, because sometimes your concentration goes. It's good for focusing the mind, so it gives you that strength. And like Raf, you know, I heal with crystals. I see people who come into my shop lifting crystals, and you know, within seconds these crystals are almost igniting in their hands. They're so hot. So they know they picked the right crystal. And children love the crystals. You know, there's crystals for nightmares and things like that, because they come in and their hands are in the bowls, and first they think they're sweeties, you know, you have to be so careful. But yeah, crystal energy is very strong. And you don't need to believe in it, you just need to have it on you. And it's surprising the difference it makes.
Definitely is. Well, last question for yourselves, guys. So, Rafael, what quick message of positivity do you have for the viewers right now?
Oh, so many things. That's another show in itself. But in brief, I would just say, just focus on what you need to do. Don't worry about too much the outside world, what other people are doing, or how things should be. Let yourself sort of let control go and give it to, you know, spirit, universe, whatever label you want to give it. Sort of detach and just say, look, whatever I'm meant to do, make me aware of it. Until then, I'm just focusing on what I've got now. Keep things simple, I would say, is the most easiest, best term to use. Don't make things more complicated than what they need to be. You know, yes, it might be a bit more glamorous with all the drama, but sometimes it can waste a lot of time as well. So I would say keep things simple, you know your part to play in it. Just focus on that. Let everyone find their own way forward. And also let go of that which you can't control. Give it to a higher energy. And if you're meant to do something or take action, you'll get the signs in the meantime. But until then, just trust that your part is enough. And again, like I said, just keep it simple.
Thank you for that, Raf. How about yourself, Am?
Yes, I would say also in that, keep with your reality. What is your reality? Where are you? You know, who are you? And be proud of who you are, you know, and don't let others draw you in, and keep yourself busy. You know, I love to put on bouncy music just to take myself away from a situation. A friend who's got a great sense of humour, read some jokes on the internet, watch some funny comedy. You know, this is all about your own sanity and keeping you grounded and in the reality. Because what happens is when the drama starts, it spirals out and it's no longer a reality. It's an assumption of what's going to happen, and it's not necessarily true. And you know, that's usually what happens why people ring us for readings. What is actually going on here, and coming back to that. So yeah, I think for being positive, lots of fun things to do. Just forget about the drama. Life is like that anyway, you know, and we have to learn to dance in the rain so that when the sun comes out, we can proper play out again.
Oh, I love it, Anne. Well, thank you very much, Anne Scholes and Rafael. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I'm hoping, you know, we've actually raised people's energy today and let them see a bit more in positivity rather than negativity. So thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, Kris.
Yeah, cheers, Raf.
See you later.
Bye, guys. If you want to stay up to date with all the videos we are putting out here at Psychic Today, make sure you hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss out.